What's going on, everybody? I'm Squid Girl Joe, here with DeFi Sean and Mr. Pixel, and another Infinaeon Friday. Guys, do make sure to go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button, and if you're watching afterwards, comment down below. Also, if you're listening or also watching us on Twitter, make sure to go ahead and hit that follow button. It takes 2 seconds, really easy and simple. If you've got any other questions, make sure to stay for the end of the live stream. We'll be able to answer every one of your questions today, guys. And once again, guys, we have Infinaeon Friday every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What is up, everyone? Excited for another Infinaeon Friday today. Yeah, lots of good news. We're getting close to lots of things dropping. Exciting, bullish stuff. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. Let's go.
What's going on, everyone? I know Joe's already said it. Just as a YouTuber in me, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, repost, share it everywhere. We are up to 38 viewers. It keeps driving or keeps rising. Twitch, he's not here yet, but he's been showing up late the last couple of days. So we'll no doubt have that Twitch representation. But yeah, guys, it's been a good, busy week. As we've been doing it, we've been taking this step by step when it comes to deploying and developing Infinaeon as a whole. Obviously, I'm going to bring Matt on stage because he'll be able to talk in a second. He just joined. So we will have our very own tech support here talking all things devs. So we're going step by step. During this live, there's a good chance that Infinaeon Sol is going to go live, which is awesome. We have our first look at the LunarPumpFun Sol edition. So super excited to see all that's going. But as usual, guys, before we kind of get into it, how's everyone's week been? Mine's been crazy. As usual, ready for the weekend. It is exhausting running Infinaeon crypto on calls. By Friday, I'm pretty much mentally burned. So very excited for the weekend. It's actually my wife's birthday this weekend. So going to go have some fun with that. And yeah, guys, how's your week been?
Go get him, Joe.
It's been pretty much okay, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I was telling the guys before I had to go to the hospital. I've been having a migraine for like over a week, and sometimes you go to the hospital and the doctors are just dying on the spot. Sometimes you go to the hospital and I got like a black and blue because the doctor basically she was poking me. She's like, "I'll get the vein," and it collapsed, I guess. So I use my other arm. I do have a nice Disney princess sticker on there, so you know. Not all as bad.
Very cutesy, dude. Oh,
Yeah, you know,
every cloud.
A little flexing my Disney princess sticker. But other than that, it's been a great week. It's been a week of running around cleaning up and getting everything sorted.
Nice, yeah. I mean, pretty much for me, yeah, it's been fucking up the walls, really. Making, content, obviously. Like, I do a lot of work with Infinaeon, Lunar Pump. We're getting a lot of stuff ready for marketing efforts that are coming up. So, it's been another hectic one. And I do work for other entities too. So it's just flat to the mat. We're building a lot of stuff too behind the scenes that's going to make things a lot easier. We are doing some work on the AI stuff as well behind the scenes to kind of get that a little more improved along here. But yeah, crazy hectic week. Had some fun with the family when I can get time. Actually went for a little swim this week as well, first time in a long time, so that was nice. With the young guy, the little man. So yes, that was nice, but yeah, productive, let's say.
Awesome, Matt. What's going on? You kind of jumped in prior to or after the intros.
Hey everybody. Yeah, no, it's been a hectic week. A lot of stuff going. Still a lot of stuff to come. Been trying to get this Sol stuff situated. We're down to the final little hiccup, which is on the bridge. One of the big differences between Sol and EVM is decimals, right? A lot of the Solana, tokens are 6 decimals or 9 decimals, stuff like that. The big kicker is it all depends on the supply when it comes to Sol on how many decimals you can make it. Where our supply is high, on EVM, not really high, but high considering, we can't set it at 18 decimals on Solana because of that. So that makes it to where we've got to do a lot of conversions whenever you're going to bridge from 18 decimal token over to a 9 decimal token on Solana. So that's the final thing we're working on, just getting that hiccup done. As soon as that's done, we can actually go live. I mean, we could go live right now. It's just the bridge wouldn't be live. So, we kind of like having all that stuff going whenever you go live. But yeah, that's pretty much my week.
I think the community
Awesome.
probably very happy with that week, I'm sure.
Yep. Got ahead of my question too. I was about to say when Solana, so definitely got ahead of it because we know that.
I knew that was
question's
coming, so I just went ahead and went on with it.
Moonboy does not like it.
Get that t-shirt. Get that t-shirt. We'll get a shameless t-shirt plug in here in a minute. I wasn't prepped.
Yep. But yeah, let's kind of go ahead. We can maybe kind of hop right into it. We can kind of have our first look at LunarPump Sol. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be some things that need to be added. This is actually the Sol edition. This is going to be removed for the LunarPump socials. And as you can see, when we're going Solana to EVM, there's not going to be much different feel. Users, for the most part, won't even be able to tell that they're not the same exact platform. But one of the main things that I wanted to point out was when you come over here to the launch, you're going to have the initial community offering part, which is obviously one of the biggest things on top of the 3 bonding curves, on top of 50% of the revenue, buying Infinaeon Sol, which is about to launch, distributing to the holders, distributing to the devs. This is a very big part of it. As you can see, you can go public, which means you can launch it and anyone can participate in your ICO. You can whitelist it, so you can kind of do that pre-sale type whitelist where you control exactly what goes in. If you choose to whitelist it, you can do a standard amount right here. You can do custom amounts, so it's completely customizable. You add all your wallets. The ICO durations, you have 30 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours. I actually just sent them a message too because we need to put in the custom NDAR indefinite one to where basically you can make it to where the whole entire bonding curves has to be met by the ICO. And then you can go ahead and put in your description right here. So it's going to be really cool. And like we said, we're also going to include the dev buy. And once again, you kind of come over and you kind of see there's not too much difference between the platforms. It's the same feel for everything, same backing, same kits and everything we use. And then right here, we're going to go ahead and add a Solana. And then when you come over here, we're going to go ahead and add the EVM side. So when you click it, this is going to go ahead and take you here, and then vice versa. When you click the Solana, it's going to go ahead and take you here. So as far as the user's concerned, it's the same platform, basically.
Nice and
which
seamless.
want it to be. Yep, want it to be seamless. But for those kind of asking in the chat, it is just linked to one another because, as Matt could say a lot better than me, Solana and EVM work a lot differently, and integrating them into the same exact platform would be way bigger of a headache than what it would be worth. When you can simply just link them to one another, which is obviously the route we chose to go. There's no sense of causing extra time, pain, and money when, again, you just link them to one another, and we'll go from there. Talking about how it's going to work we're expecting the Sol side to be the breadwinner. The Sol side is actually going to get the LunarPump.fun link. And then I believe we're going to do something like evm.lunarpump.fun for these. So when you actually click one of these icons right here, you're actually going to end up on evm.lunarpump.fun more than likely. And then when you click Sol, you're going to be on lunarpump.fun. So we're going to kind of switch out the URLs right there just to, again, we want to give the side that we feel like is going to be the bigger side, the actual straight up lunarpump.fun. But again, you're going to be able to use icons on both of them. So as far as the user is concerned, they're not going to have to go into their web browser and type in evm.lunarpump.fun. They're just going to be able to type in lunarpump.fun and they'll be able to navigate anywhere they need to go via there.
Yeah, so basically, like what you're saying is the default when you go to lunarpump.fun, the default will be on Solana.
Well, default will be Solana. Right. Yeah, which I wasn't going to go that route, but it was brought to my attention that we probably should have the busiest side as the default of LunarPump.fun, which they were correct. We think that that's definitely the right route to go.
I agree, man. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Most of the traffic that we're going to be driving to there, like through the marketing efforts, are going to be Solana, so it makes most sense. It is the king of the meme token chain, like right now, either way, and you know the rush to get this out as soon as possible, given you know the kind of scandals and stuff that are happening, and let's say just the general FUD that's happening around Pump Fun. right now. The goal is really to capitalize on that as quickly as possible. But man, it's looking great. I mean, I think it's great. I love it. Looks very very simple, not that complicated for even a noob, I'm sure, can figure it out. Obviously there's going to be, what we will add here is we'll add instruction videos as well, just walkthroughs and this and that, little short ones, to make it super easy for people when they do come on over time. So yeah, I'm really excited for it, man. And then having Infinian on there on Sol, paying out the rewards, getting that back into the ecosystem. I just cannot wait for this thing to drop.
Yep. And another cool thing is too, we're gonna definitely be doing huge Twitter campaigns. Obviously, Twitter's your best marketing spot right here. We're gonna need all of you guys when this goes live, but I think we're up to about $1,900 worth of credits for advertising.
Yeah.
So if you have
great.
the little gold symbol, you get like $1,000 a month in free ad credits. So I've been kind of banking them. So once this goes live, we can, via the Infinion account, we'll probably have about $1,900 worth of ad credits to like really push this across Twitter. And then of course, with everyone's engagement, that could be huge. That's a lot of money to push across Twitter, essentially for free. So yeah, definitely excited for that.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome.
Yep. And another cool thing, kind of had a meeting today. Most people know, as you can see on Twitter, on Telegram, our numbers are growing. It's a big part of our campaign that we're running, enticing people to come over, join all the socials. Well, Zeely, who's our partner with that, they actually have the social aspect of campaigns, and then they also have the on-chain aspects of campaigns. So what we're going to do is the next campaigns that they run, because they kind of have two different audiences. You got your audience that's willing to pay to be part of competitions. You got your audience that just wants to click buttons to be a part of competitions. So they already have this built-in network. So one of the main things we're going to do is, with the next campaign, you're going to be required to interact on chain, buying the native token, creating volume, different stuff like that, to become a part of the competition. And like Mr. P said, the first competition basically went viral. So we want to kind of hopefully do that with this. And the next one, we can actually get feedback from the community. So we want to choose two main things that we want to push. You don't want to have, like we were told today, you don't want to have like 6 to 10 requirements, kind of gets muddled down. So obviously we want volume. In order to participate, you got to buy, sell, create volume on the native token. And then the next thing we're trying to decide, do we want to require people to interact with LunarPumpFun, buy and sell on the Sol platform, or do we want to maybe get people to bridge their ETH over to Infinion ETH? So there's just a couple different options that we need to decide what we think is more valuable. Do we want people coming over to the blockchain? Do we want people using LunarPump? Then obviously we can always run different campaigns, when that one's over, but just kind of where we want to go first. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts, or anyone in the community have any thoughts about maybe the direction we should go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're doing like 2-3 max, I think it'd be good to have one that would hopefully like drive people to the chain itself, and then maybe if it was 3, I'd double up on the LunarPump side. Hold Infinion Sol, hold this, whatever, something like that, whatever's generating that volume on that side. I think that'd be a smart way to go. And just to give people a little insight too on the current Zeely quest and the numbers out there, we're looking at close to 85,000 quests actually carried out so far, which is clocking in at over 40,000 different participants, which like they've been saying that like they actually haven't ever seen this amount of interaction from their own Zeely quests. Obviously, like Sean was saying, they have their own massive network of people that interact over there. But I think as well, once we kind of roll out the one that's going to generate the volume and stuff for us, I think we up the ante on that too, and we like make it a nice juicy number like that you can win on there. And again, at that point, it'll be Infinion Sol that you'll be able to win, right? So yeah, I think we can kind of stack that a little bit and really entice a lot more people to get involved, because right now it's a pretty like modest, right, let's say, prize pool, let's say, for example, for interactions over there, right, Sean? Would you say it's modest? It's pretty modest right now, right?
It's not a lot. It's
Mhm.
not a lot. The prizes are not high. So yeah, good engagement for minimal prizes. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, once we turn it on here, I mean, just think about it. How much would people pay for like volume bots, market makers, this and that? Like this way, you're actually getting genuine people doing interactions on the chain, and you're getting the whole marketing, social media aspect of it all on top of it, kind of all bundled in together. So it's like, it's a great avenue, you know. Zili really do have a great thing going on over there. But yeah, what do you think, Joe, Matt? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's great. You know, the more interaction we get with, you know, our community and everything like that, and and everyone in general, is just the better. The bigger we grow, the more of a voice we have. Because as crypto gets watched by regular people, the regular normies start coming into crypto. They're gonna want to know what's the biggest community, who's the biggest dog in the block, and why, and they're gonna look into that. So, the more we grow, the more we expand, the better it's overall for everybody.
Yeah, I'm under the same way as all of y'all. The interactions is going to push people there. It's going to grow the community. It's going to really drive us to be kind of a household name across every aspect when it comes to crypto, and that's what we're shooting for. And then chain adoption, comes along with that. When people see stuff over and over again, they go check it out, and then when they actually see what we're doing and the tech we've got involved, that's going to help push them to use it and to get used to it, and push us further and further as we move forward.
And you're starting to see those results right now too, because you can see even the chat itself. Like there was a time early on when the chat was demoralizing people. That's completely flipped now. It's like everybody in the chat is it's totally, because we got a lot of new faces coming in, and that's always great because it revitalizes all of us that have kind of got our heads down in the trenches all the time, like grinding and working and whatever, and the community as well, obviously. So it's a testament to the community, to the team, everybody that's working their asses off on this thing. Like I can see everybody out there pushing hard, and then when people come into the chat, like they're very well greeted. Like any question is answered very promptly, and we do everything we can on our end to be accessible here. And it was something we were talking about in Spaces recently, and it was like, what's the best thing to keep communities coming back? Like my thought was, it's absolutely the two top things in my opinion, or especially in crypto, is like transparency and accessibility. I think those two things are massive. Obviously you need a product or whatever, but if it's a meme token, not necessarily. But communication, like on that level, being accessible and being transparent, I think is one of the, or two of the top things. And that's something that we're trying to do here. Obviously, as we've mentioned, all the products been like built, they're just getting tweaked, fine-tuned, updates here and there and whatever. But now it's like the real marketing push has begun, and once Solana is gonna, like I said, is going to be, this V2 is going to be the catalyst. There it is. That was something we just made out. This is going to be the new lunar mission instructions. But this is going to be like the catalyst, really, for, as Sean was saying, all those marketing credits on X for those ad campaigns we're going to be running. They're all building up now. So kind of everything is just getting ready for the powder keg that is going to be Lunar Pump V2 here once it drops with Solana.
Yep. And we got all the boxes checked. We're pretty much about to officially transition from, I guess you can say, like the building phase to the adoption phase, and start really pushing for that. With the launch of LunarPumpFun Sol, we have our LunarPumpFun platform. Not completely done, because we still want to add stuff to it. We still want to add chains to it, but we have the main parts of it done. The blockchain is live. I mean, like you said, we have the transparency. We do lives at least twice a week. Do spaces all in between. We got our guy Papa Soggs doing Lunar Pump Radio on Thursdays, which I unfortunately had to miss yesterday, but I'll make it a point to be there every week. And we have, in my opinion, I'm a little biased, but I mean, I think our branding is badass. I don't think anyone tops our branding. From Infinaeon to Lunar Pump, our branding is top notch. Content is top notch. We have everything we need to really start transitioning from building to really pushing forward. We have the native token on ETH. We have the native token on Infinaeon. Here very, very shortly, in the matter of minutes to hours, we're going to have Infinaeon on Solana. The Solana token, Infinaeon Solana token, is going to be the distribution token of LunarPumpFun, meaning that 50% of that platform is going to be buying and burning. So, or not buying and burning, buying and distributing. So, I mean, we create, let's say, $20,000 of revenue for a week. 10,000 of that is going to automatically buy Infinaeon Sol and distribute it. And at that point, not only is it putting buys and volume on the chart, but then also people using the platforms, whether they know it or not, they're going to become Infinaeon holders, which is awesome because we're just spreading it. So, we've really positioned ourselves, community, best community in the space. They've really given us time to get to where we need to get, and understanding that as much as we would have loved to have seen a 200x or 1,000x or something insane out of the gate, typically with these kind of utility tokens, it doesn't work like that. It takes time. You got to get it all set up. Then you kind of start pushing for that mass adoption. So it's something that we're right there at. So it's awesome.
Yeah, to be honest, dude, like, I'm kind of really happy the way this went, because pre-sales always go this way. You don't know how low you're actually going to end up going, but a lot of the time, the longer they go on, sometimes the bigger the dump can be. So it kind of all depends on a lot of different things. But the reason I'm kind of glad it went this way is because the really die-hard community members were able to get nice big bags, and we know that they are going to be the foundation that we need for this thing to go. And shit, dude, that gives me a lot of hope. And I feel also that is one of the big reasons that, like, the chat right now is kind of as bullish as it is because we've kind of weathered that storm. And, like, all we have done all this time is just build, you know what I mean? And just grow. And just to answer that question there too, that Dogan was asking, that's actually in relation to the Zeely stuff. So we haven't hit the 40k spectators on Infinaeon Friday just yet, but we're getting close. But that was to do with Zeely, the current Zeely quest that we're doing right now with the growthy marketing team. And it's pretty much gone viral as far as, like, the Zeely community and them go. Like Sean was saying earlier, they have their own network, so it's kind of gone viral within that network, which is 40,000 participants, and that's over 85,000 quests completed over this time. So, and those quests can range from many things. Let's say liking, retweeting, commenting, but also writing your own tweets. So if anybody's out there, you type in hashtag Infinaeon or whatever, you're going to see thousands and thousands of tweets from random people that you've never seen, like, getting involved in the Zeely thing. But it's the best SEO you can do, especially when it comes to marketing and stuff like that, as regards social media. So yeah, it's been a huge success. And as we said, as Sean had mentioned, the next rollout, the next phase of this, they call it a sprint. So this is like our first kind of sprint. It can last for, what is it, like a month? I mean, you can set it for as much as you want, but the first one's going to last for a month, social media heavy. The next sprint that we're going to do here now is going to, as Sean mentioned, incorporate the actual DEX, the blockchain, generating volume on there through quests. The guys just had a meeting with the actual Zeely guys a little earlier today. So that's fresh alpha right there, and that's going to roll out. So I mean, that's all. It's so cool to have that generating on there as well through the social media stuff. I know we touched on it, but I just wanted to kind of refresh people if they're just strolling in here now at this point.
Yep, exactly. Just creating on-chain from volume to transactions, just creating on-chain, actually making sure people are utilizing. And if it gets done right, we actually might make more in fees than actual rewards are. So that's always a good thing. I know people were asking why we're talking about fees. Everything has a 1% fee, including the Sol side launch that's about to happen. And yes, like I said in chat, the bid holders get their cut. There's basically no need to even ask that question. Anything that generates revenue, bits get 5%, just moving forward so people know that. If it generates revenue, the bits get 5% of that.
Ooh, we got Baby Zog as well coming, just waiting for that V2 to drop. I know the guys have been, Tim and the crew over there have been prepping, getting ready to launch as soon as. So they're definitely pulling their hair of Trump out at the moment, waiting for that to come, I'm sure.
Yep. Another thing too, iOS, we submitted yesterday the next round of questions that, of course, Apple had for us. We'll see. We can find out today. We're approved. They can come back with more stuff. Not sure what else they're coming back with, but when I was, again, setting up the organization account, I didn't think there would be anything else to come back with. So still working through it with Apple. It's live on the Android side, but obviously as soon as we get the okay with Apple, we will go ahead and make sure everyone knows that. As far as, because I'm sure people will ask, since we saw the demo, as far as the LunarPump Sol platform goes, we're just starting testing on it. So the rollout of it is going to depend on testing. Obviously, just like the EVM side, we got to make sure it's working as perfect as it could work. Obviously, with Web3, your biggest platforms in the space have issues here and there. So nothing's ever perfect, but we need to make sure we're getting it as close to perfect as possible, like we did on the EVM side. So, I mean, it very well could be next week that we launch. It might be, it just all depends on testing. So as usual, like whatever thing, we're going to keep everyone up to date so everyone knows exactly what's going on and when they could expect it. And when that happens, we need to all band together like we do with everything and really start to push this. Hopefully we can line up some good partnerships and different things like that, because we really do kind of have an opening right now to show people that LunarPumpFun will be for the people of the space and not like Pump Fun. Guarantee you, no matter how successful this is, you're not going to see millions and hundreds of millions of dollars getting offloaded. It's all going to be getting circulated back into the platform. It's going to, again, be buying the Infinaeon token. So the bigger LunarPump gets, the bigger the Infinaeon token gets, which is awesome.
Quick question there, actually. Do we have any word on the let's say the incentives that are going to be rolling out with V2 so far on Solana as regards? I know right now we're doing a 50% return to the dev wallet on bonding, but do we have any word on any of that, Matt or Sean, for people watching out there? Do we have any kind of anything concrete on that just yet, or what are we allowed to talk about?
So the EVM side is going to get caught up with it. Now, right now on the EVM side, the main thing is the dev gets 50% if it bonds. On the Sol side, it's not going to work like that. On the Sol side, it's going to basically collect the fees accumulatively, the volume fees and the bonding fees. It's going to collect them all. And then what's going to happen is that those fees are going to buy Infinaeon Sol, and then it's going to get distributed to both devs and users of the platform, depending on their engagement on the platform. So let's say you have the number one wallet that's operating on the platform, your wallet's creating more volume than anyone else, you're going to get more Infinaeon Sol just for interacting. Even if you're on there buying, selling, and you're not even looking to hold anything, just creating that volume will automatically get you Infinaeon Sol, which is really cool. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be structured to where everyone gets a piece of the pie at all times and not just the developer when something bonds. So it's really cool that it's going to be split up to get, again, everything at once. And yes, like Chuck said, volume is volume. And again, if people are interacting on the chain, creating volume, they're going to definitely get rewarded for it, which is something that not many platforms do. And something that, again, I'm excited to see in action, because I want to see like the Infinaeon blockchain or LunarPump on a mass scale. Like I want to see what happens when you have millions of transactions and see how cool it looks to actually get pumped back in, because to my knowledge, no one does that. Pump Fun is laughing to the bank with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. Imagine if that would have got pumped back in to a chart or to the users, how awesome that would look. No different with our blockchain. The more transactions that happen on our blockchain, the bigger the blockchain get. It's not the validators or whatever soaking up all the fees and all that stuff. It's the actual users benefiting from the chain, which is awesome. Matt, I don't know if you want to throw anything in there on the dev side as far as rewards go. Also, right, real quick too, Matt, before you go, we'll explain how it's going to work shortly, but there is a referral system. So if you refer people to the platform, you'll also get your Infinaeon Sol for referral. So that's going to be something really cool too. But yeah, Matt, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you pretty much knocked it out of the park. I mean, you're basically you're getting kickbacks for everything that you do as far as volume. Whether it's buy, selling, or whatever while you're on the platform. And then, like I said, you mentioned the referrals, so anybody that refers somebody, they're going to have their link referral. That referee, the one who give them the links, is going to be getting kickback on your volume. So you refer people, you're going to get kickback on their volume. It's anything to drive adoption to the chain and give back to the users. That's what it's all about.
Dude, I love that. That's awesome, huh?
Yep. Another thing too is that's cool. It's on Solana. So if you're trying to interact and you're trying to gain Infinaeon Sol just for participating, and let's say you do want to go set up a bot, or you do want to go just buy and sell tokens and just get hit with that little 1% fee, that's basically it. It's Solana. So the gas is super cheap. Obviously, you're not going to be doing that on ETH, paying what, 5, 10, 15, depending on gas prices per transaction, where it just makes it not feasible. You might as well just go buy Infinion. So that's really cool too, that we'll have the cheap gas fees.
I'm not sure if anybody saw, but Mustafa is having some issues with his bits. He's getting hypnotizing as well. For those that don't know, Mustafa is probably he's the bit whale, right, among the group. That is correct, right?
Yes. No, I mean, I'm not. He's already doxed it, so I wouldn't be saying this if he hasn't made it public.
Yes.
But yes, he is hands down the bits whale. Yes,
Dude,
that's all I'll say.
And for those that aren't aware, bits are basically the NFTs of the chain. There's 4,200 of them. And what's the numbers on that again, Sean? It's 5% of all the fees generated, right? Get kicked back into the bits. All right, so this one's for you, Mustafa. Enjoy. We'll hypnotize everybody else too.
I just want to add something else also by Chuck. Chuck came in and said that is what makes Solana so fun. Cheap gas. Some people want to throw in a couple of dollars to make something with cheap gas, and that's a cool thing about the Solana chain universally, about how the fact that it's easy, it's quick. You throw in, you throw in, and projects will do good. You can pull out, get into the next one. It's really fast, and I think that's why Solana is going to be really dominant with the LunarPumpFun, just because we're going to be seeing so many people just run into a project. Oh, it's not good. Okay, run out. All right, you know what? I'll make another project, and they can do it in and out so easily. This is going to be something that I think is going to be huge for LunarPump.Fun, especially since Pump.Fun's having whatever issues they're having. It's just an opportunity for us, and with LunarPump.Fun releasing Solana, this is going to be probably the major thing for a lot of people. They're going to find out that once they figure out how easy it is, they always stick with it. People don't want to learn nothing new. And this is why we're having a little bit of an issue getting people just to run over here immediately. But the second they start doing it, the second that dam breaks, we're going to see a ton of people run here for Solana, which obviously, the gas fees gets broken on everything and goes back into, well, one of many things, bits, which is something that's massive. And which is why, people like Mustafa and many other people are excited about this. But like you said, Mr. Pixel, it's holding the ground floor. It's the bottom part of what makes the floor of Infinion universally. And those that hold the bits, those that are part of the ecosystem, they always benefit the best, always, forever. And that's how this whole system is even designed to do. What can I see? Bits spinning my wallet. Any update on that? You gotta ask Mustafa. He has the intel on that.
It is kind of hypnotizing though.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what Mustafa's probably looking at, a whole long page of those right there in his own wallet. I think he's referring to the actual Infinion wallet, though. Maybe that might be a question for Matt.
Yeah, as far as the Infinaeon wallet, we're working on that. This is the first NFT on our blockchain, so they had to do some integrations and changes and all that stuff. It's kind of one of the things you don't really know how everything's going to act until there's actually one they can, interact with. And right now, I know the lead dev of the wallet, he's doing some traveling. He was traveling this week, So he'll be back on that first thing Monday. So hopefully that'll come out pretty quick next week, because that's going to be his first priority, is getting those NFTs to where they're working in the wallet.
Yep. Another thing too I want to bring up real quick is the route to get to Solana. So obviously you can buy on Solana. Obviously you can buy on Infinaeon. You can buy on Uniswap. But if you're holding your tokens on the ETH side, you're going to have to bridge from ETH to Infinaeon and then Infinaeon to Solana. A couple of different things that helps drive engagement to our blockchain. But correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, too, it'll also stop any arbitrage bots and everything like that. So if there are arbitrage opportunity, something that is really cool with our chain is that bots aren't going to be soaking that all up. You as the user actually has the opportunity to take advantage and probably round trip, Matt, what? Couple of minutes from ETH to Infinaeon, couple of minutes from Infinaeon to Solana and back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, going from ETH to Infinaeon with the tokens, usually takes less than a minute.
It's quick. It's quick, yeah.
It'll be the same thing. I don't know if anybody has used the Geeks Bridge. That's where it's going to be on. It's lightning fast. It's the same thing. You're going to be there in less than a minute. So it makes it real nice. But we had talked about doing a bridge from ETH to Solana as well. But one thing about that is doing it this way, because ETH is kind of the main hub of the token, right? That's where we originally launched it. That's where the supply got set at and all that. So whenever you go from ETH to Infinaeon, you're locking those tokens up on the ETH chain and they go over to Infinaeon. Whenever you come back from Infinaeon, they unlock on the ETH side and they go back to your wallet. Doing a bridge to the Sol side, we would have to create another bridge and another setup as far as that goes. And the supply kind of gets crazy when you start going into multiple chains like that. So doing it the way we're doing it, all the tokens get locked on the ETH side if you're moving them from the chain, and they go to Infinaeon, and then they go from Infinaeon to Sol, and then back to Infinaeon, and then back to ETH. So it always generates back to the original token on ETH, and it makes it a lot cleaner and a lot better when it comes to the supply control, if that makes sense.
Roger that. Yeah, get that. Looks like there's another question here for you too, Matt. Are there plans to redesign the bridge page to make it look nicer and more accessible for new people? Also, maybe adding explanations to first timers on the side, or something about approval and deposit.
I can actually take that. So the biggest reason why we haven't had to redesign is price. They quoted us a pretty crazy price to change that bridge because it's the blockchain guys that built it. So that's the biggest reason why we haven't redesigned it. We definitely hear everyone. We agree with you. It needs to kind of match more of the, Infinaeon and LunarPump and all that look. But again, baby steps. We don't have millions of dollars like a lot of layer 2 blockchains. So we will no doubt get there. But it's just going to take a little time because, unfortunately, because of the price it would take to do something that, that already exists. But Matt, I don't know if you have any technical side to that. I'm just giving you the financial side of it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's basically it. Like I said, if it was ours in-house that we built, like we have a lot of the other stuff, that makes it a little different. It's easy to tweak and change and redesign. But when you're working with an external third party, with the blockchain guys, and they're brilliant. I mean, they do an awesome job. They've worked on pretty much every big layer 2 chain, setting up the bridges for them and all that stuff. So it's kind of one of them things that, you're kind of at their mercy, and you got to pay what you want to, what they want if you want it updated. So that's just kind of is what it is. The good thing is any bugs or any issues we have with it, they're spot on. They don't cost us nothing. That's all part of it. They jump right in, they fix it, they get it situated. But designing and changes like that, that's a little more than, the norm. So.
All right, cool. Well, all in good time, guys, and it is good for good heads up there. And I'm sure, yeah, like Sean was saying, it's definitely something that's been on the radar for a minute. But obviously, I'm glad to hear, and I'm sure everybody's glad to hear that everybody's like, all right, we'll prioritize things like in the right way here. So that's a good sign.
Yep. Yep. We're not in the business of wasting funds. You know, people
Right.
entrusted us to build this chain and to build this ecosystem. And we're definitely doing it right, doing it very responsibly. We have carrying costs and everything like that. Also, Chuck's saying he's going to keep it in mind. Even though it's a fast thing, again, we never like to blow smoke. I'm not just going to say stuff and say, oh, everyone start trying to arbitrage. Just keep in mind, if you're on ETH and you see a big price increase on Solana or vice versa, and you start bridging, there very well may be someone that beats you to it. So just keep that in mind. Like with usual, we never give financial advice, and just always make sure it's funds that you're comfortable with when doing it, because there may be people racing you to that arbitrage opportunity. It won't be bots, but it very much could be people. Just kind of wanted to put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, and I'll throw in there as well. For the people that kind of think about it, if you hold on every chain and you've got Sol and ETH and Infinaeon ETH on every chain, it's really easy to capture that arbitrage because you don't have to worry about the bridging part. You can do that later.
Very, very, very fair point. Yep, that's a good point. If you already have your Solana, you already have your ETH on both tokens and natives, yeah, you're able to pull the trigger without having to worry about the bridging. That's a fair point.
Yep. And that's how most of the way the bots work too. They've got setups on every chain, and they communicate, from the back window side, not actual chain side. So, they trigger their stuff and it makes sales and it buys and it sells and it goes from chain to chain, just moving different stuff around. So.
All right, just wanted to pop these up there as well for anybody that is unaware. Our merch store is live and kicking. We're adding stuff every week, a little bit here, a little bit there, but this just got added last week. I know Adam actually bought some stuff. My mom got one of the hoodies too. She got an Infinion hoodie. She loves her hoodies. So she got one of the black ones. Adam got one of these. My niece, his daughter loves like Baby Draco and Moonboy, so he got her a Baby Draco tee as well and stuff. So there's good options in there. Something else that was just added this week was on the Moonboy side. I think people should get a good kick out of this. Like, Make Degens great, Moonboy classic. Hens waiting for your order to arrive. Awesome. So it's got Make Degens great on the top with the again scratched out Moonboy there on the back. It's a classic. I think I'm gonna have to get one myself. I was told that hats don't really suit me, but hey, Sean and Joe, you guys rock the baseball hats. What do you think? Did you rock one of these?
Hell yeah! Go ahead and get you one ordered up. And
I got one request there, Mr. Pixel.
What's that?
I said I got one request in the merch store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the polos. Actually, absolutely love the polo. I just need more colors.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. They're kind of, when you go for the Adidas or the Under Armour, they're kind of limited in the colors that they have. But I look into it. I'll see what they got. Maybe we can, just go for one of the more kind of up, finer generic ones that they have. But yeah, what color do you want, Matt?
Just whatever. Just I'm a polo guy. I wear
a polo guy. All right. Well, we got to keep the dev happy. So yes, done.
That polo is probably one of the best fitting polos I've ever bought. I love it. I actually
nice.
I'll call up Under Armour. I'll make sure they get more colors on there.
There we go. And I said I would say win again.
When tech support T from that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I need a tech support, number one tech support or something.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Polo.
Yeah, okay, on polo.
Matt really is the best tech support. Nonstop people praising Matt. He really jumps up when someone has an issue, and he's very patient and he gets them through it. So yeah, shout out to Matt for taking care of everyone.
Dude, big time. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, his patience is next level when it comes to helping people out.
We also got our first mug up there as a bit mug. Mustafa, I'm assuming you've bought the shirt and you bought the mug already at this point. I mean, I'd be very surprised if you haven't. But,
when you own basically the supply, you might as well rep the mug and the shirt.
Exactly. But yeah, merch store's there. It's store.infinion.com. Anybody wants to go and check it out, please do. And like I said, we're working to make sure that like this is looking nice and juicy every day. And as we grow, again, and like we said as well, this is another rev stream for the project. So the more tantalizing we can make it look, the better for us. And yeah, so I'm excited for this really getting like kind of kicked off once we get more traction here and we got more people coming in to see how that all kind of plays out.
Yep, got a question too. We'll let Matt take it, Matt. So explain to everyone about the supply. So you're right, according to CMC, which it is because of the burn, 369.39 million tokens. Now it's all the same tokens. So essentially the token you own on ETH is the same exact token you own on Sol. But Matt, if you you're here, so might as well let you talk about supply.
Yeah, so I kind of touched on that earlier when I was talking about, the bridging for Solana and all that stuff. So if you look on, the, Etherscan, I think it's the second contract, that's the bridge, right? So when it leaves ETH chain, it goes into that locker and it gets minted or comes out on the other chain that you go to, right? So only those tokens available are open on that chain. So if you look on ETH chain, that will have the total supply in concrete, and the bridge will hold every token that's on every other chain. That's how it keeps it the same, And yes, I don't know the math right offhand, but 20% staked, that sounds good. I think that actually some more got staked today. I hadn't even looked. But always check the ETH chain. That's the total supply, and if it's circulating on another chain, it's locked in the bridge that you'll see on Etherscan.
Yep, and let's see, is this so when it comes to our holders, which ones are we looking at? The second one is the bridge, the 291. Matt?
Sorry, I was muted talking to myself. It is the second one. So you got like 98.4 million. That's how many tokens that are off chain, right? So on Infinaeon right now, and then eventually will be on Sol. And the Sol works the same way. So there's going to be basically a lock contract on Sol that will house the supply, which will be equal to the supply that's on ETH, but locked in the bridge. And as people move from Infinaeon to Sol, they will come out of the bridge on the Sol side. So everything loops around. But if you look at that number 2 right there, that shows you how many tokens are on other chains in circulation in some form, which, of course, most of those are staked on the Infinaeon chain. So they're not really circulating. They're in a staking contract, but it's still considered circulating because they can pull them out of time.
So just to be clear, when someone bridges to Infinaeon Sol, this number will go up. Same thing, just like when they bridge.
Unless they've already got it on Infinaeon.
Correct. If you're going from ETH to Infinaeon to Sol, this number will go up.
Yes, correct.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, anytime you leave the ETH chain with tokens, that number goes up.
Awesome.
And if anybody has any more questions, come into the Telegram and Matt will be right there to answer them for you. I will just clip this out for you, Matt, and you can just drop this anytime anyone asks about it again.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, guys, we got about 10-ish minutes left. Another thing I wanted to kind of bring up, obviously we do these lives on here, in Twitch, in Twitter, because we have a further reach. If we just did these every single Friday in our Telegram, we're just kind of preaching to the choir. We're just talking to ourselves. But with that being said, we're definitely at a point, if any community members or anyone in the chat wants to come up here prior to us doing like, hey, I want to join Infinaeon Friday, join the conversation. You don't even have to be talking about a project you launch on LunarPump or on Infinaeon. If you want to come up and say hi and just be a part of the panel and just shoot the shit with us, more than welcome to. Send me a DM. And, we were talking about it today, and just kind of would be cool to kind of get the community more involved like they would be if we were on Telegram. But again, Telegram, there's no reach doing that. So that's why we do it on this platform. But anyone that wants to come up and just hang out, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I
So
love that
just
idea.
wanted to point that out.
Yeah, anybody that's got the minerals, come on. Send
Yep.
Sean a DM.
No reason. If you just want to come out and just be a part of the conversation, it's completely cool. Like I say, you don't have to have a reason or talk about anything or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, man. Community member guest for for a show. I love it. I love it. And as well, to touch on that point, someone is talking about this. The reason they're saying this is because shout out to Papa Stonks. He hosts Lunar Pump Radio, and these guys were on there yesterday. Soulbox, I believe, right? And so I guess they did some good stuff today. So shout out to you, Papa, bringing in some good projects for the community. And again, hey, I'm not telling anybody to go and buy this token right now. I'm just saying that's in case anybody's wondering what that comment is about. Check out Lunar Pump Radio. Papa hosts it. Host from the main Lunar Pump account. Papa joins in. All the community get involved there. He brings up on other projects and stuff. So obviously once Solana rolls out here, there's going to be a lot of Solana projects going on there and anything else. And again, if somebody's looking to get on that show for any reason or another, I can hit one of us up in a DM, hit Papa up in a DM. He's usually here, but I know he's probably busy at the moment, but he'll probably see this back. But yeah, so that's another one of the kind of outreach efforts that's going on here. There's that. Then we obviously Infinaeon Friday, Moon Monday, and we do spaces all throughout the week with Growthy, with loads of other projects too, discussing like not so much shill spaces, but more like just topical spaces about the tech and marketing efforts and this and that. So it could be a different topic depending on what it is. But the outreach never stops, and then always accessible in Telegram or on social medias and stuff like that. So yeah, just wanted to pop that up there and let people know. And whenever you can, also always get your PFPs on when you do show up in those spaces, or even here on YouTube or wherever you can. The more we have floating around there, the better. Goal is to saturate the environment with as many teal dragons as we possibly can. So yeah, go ahead, Sean. I see there's a plug coming here for the social site.
Yeah, just bringing up the social site. We're up to about 313 subscribers, so we're growing. And again, it has even become a focal point. This is going to become a focal point as Lunar Pump grows, because it is really a very cool platform that we built that we can definitely get people here. And kind of too, like you said, Lunar Pump Radio on Thursdays kind of evolving into a weekly spaces where different projects come on, talk about their projects like Soulbox. And essentially, we're the host. We're the promoter and the sponsor of every week and stuff like that. I try to make it a point. Yesterday, I had some personal stuff to do because it's not at the best time for me. But I'll try to make it a point to be there, at least in the intro, to talk a little bit about Lunar Pump and all that good stuff every single week. So that'll kind of be a goal. And like I said, app.lunarpump.fun, or hop on over to the Google Play Store or the iOS Apple Store and go ahead and download your app right here. And again, we're going to be creating over the next couple of months some really cool stuff. We're going to be adding features like tweeting from here. It'll go to your Twitter account. So if you want to utilize both platforms, you don't have to do two different messages, because I do that a lot, two different messages, and it does kind of get a little old having to type up two different messages. But it'll be really cool having that seamless ability to post on Lunar Pump, but then also go over to Twitter. Again, we're going to be adding spaces. We're going to be adding polls. We're going to make this a really cool platform. Again, like everything else, though, there's a pecking order that we need to do it in, because, like I said, we don't have the millions of dollars to just throw everything at the wall and see what happens. So we have to be very strategic about how we build everything.
I had to fill your boots yesterday for the Lunar Pump. A word from the sponsors. I didn't do too bad a job. They're tough boots to fill. You're trying to consolidate, and it's like, all right, Papa was like, all right, tell us all about Mr. P, because Adam was supposed to do it, and then I was there, but he couldn't talk for some reason. So, all right, tell us all about Infinaeon and Lunar Pump. I'm like, shit. So, I'm gonna win.
I'm sure you did great.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. No, I kept it short and sweet, hit the high points, didn't linger too long on any one thing. You can't really, because we kind of do that intro every week anyway on Lunar Pump, and we don't want people getting sick of a big long drawn out detailed explanation about it. But
But yeah, guys, we got a couple more minutes. Any final questions, go ahead and ask them. Of course, we kind of take it a little easy on the weekends when we can. We'll definitely be back Monday for Moon Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern and kickstart that week. And hopefully early next week, we'll have some more LunarPumpFun Sol news. The platform, not the token.
I saw Tim dropping in there and C Lady. They're two heavy community members, and they're going to be launching Baby Zog. But I believe, is that right, that the hair token is moving over onto Infinaeon? If that is correct, let us know. But it's going to be going onto the Infinaeon blockchain, if I'm not mistaken. And if anybody wants to get involved in, like with a lot of these other projects that are launching on Infinaeon or through LunarPump or whatever, obviously you can go to social media site. But then we also have the lounge, which is on Telegram that you can go in. So if you go into our main Telegram, type /lounge, and you can see a lot of the projects and developers are all in there, like having cross communications and promotional efforts and things like that. So yeah, get involved over there. And yeah, if you guys are going to be on DeFi Derby is something that C Lady does. With the man token over there, they're on Infinaeon too, and they got the cross chain across from Binance as well, I believe, right? So Matt was working on that. But yeah, strong community members. Always good if anybody is launching a token on Infinaeon. Good to connect with all those guys. Get into the lounge, communicate. They'll help cross pollination, and I'm sure help with hints and tips. And yeah, community is great out there. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Just wanted to give you a shout out. I know you've been mentioning that there, Tim, in the chat for a minute, so I wanted to make sure we could let some people and make them aware of that you guys are doing that.
Absolutely, guys. And once again, can't wait to see us the boss to join the next Infinaeon Friday.
Ooh, the benchmark is there, right? Who's got the minerals?
We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Once again, guys, make sure to tune in this Monday at 5 o'clock for Moon Monday. Make sure to check that out, guys. And always be aware of everything going on. Once again, like I said before, on social media, on Twitter, on Telegram, on YouTube, on Discord, everywhere. Go ahead and join every social media platform we have available. And of course, on app.lunarpump.fun. You can also download that in the iOS store. It's through. You can get it on your iPhone or Android app as well. Create an account, join in. It's going to be going great. We also got Tim responding back to what you said before, Mr. Pixels. Yeah, we're launching Hot Tonight on Infinaeon and Baby Zog when the ICO is available.
Oh, it's hair of Trump. So hot is hair of Trump, I believe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it's going to be cross. It's going to be on Infinaeon. And what's it on already? Is it on ETH or?
I believe, Matt. I think it's on BSC, if I'm not mistaken.
BSC.
Hair Trump's, I'm pretty sure, is BSC.
Okay.
I can't. We did it. It's on ETH.
Is it on ETH? Okay.
Yeah, and I was thinking they were going to base, possibly. I don't know if they ever did or not. I don't know.
I think they did go to base. They did go to the base. They're on base. Correct. Yeah. They are. Yeah, see, lady. They're on base. I remember now. They're on base. Yep.
All right, sweet. Well, shout out to you guys bridging over to Infinaeon, and I hope that's gonna be something that we actually might see happening here. Because just before we wrap up, Joe, I know you're about to close it up, but the beauty of that is, your other chain actually benefits from that too, because the ever appreciating, those arbitrage bots are going to keep it. So if the one on Infinaeon is increasing, then the bot's going to keep it over on the other side too, so that's going to go up along with it. So you get the added benefit. It's in most tokens' best interest to maybe have a liquidity pool on Infinaeon. I'll leave it at that. All right.
Absolutely, guys. So once again, we'll see you guys this Moon Monday at 5 o'clock. I'm Screw Joe, DeFi Sean, Mr. Pixels, Rebel Matt. See you guys on the moon.